Soma Prime Incarnon. It always had this assumption that Incarnon form is quote-unquote weaker than base form, which is completely false. I know, red color is very dopamine inducing, but don't let that draw your attention away. Before that, Incarnon Evolutions. First one is just unlocking the Incarnon form, which leads us to second evolution. Choosing either one will do, but in Rhino's context, the first choice provides more benefit due to higher damage increase, and overshield on bleed kill just doesn't do much for him. Evo tree wise, each of these will always be beneficial, but highly dependent on where you want to use this weapon on. For disruption, I highly recommend getting minus recoil or plus accuracy so that every bullet are guaranteed to hit the heads. Now, the final evolution. Either perk will do. If you wish to just whip out the weapon and kill when it needs to, then first perk isn't what you need. If you wish to replace Galvanized Aptitude for something like a Riven, the second choice is your best bet. I know, why do you replace Galvanized Aptitude? Worry not, this will be answered shortly. As for the last choice, Zeroed In, this is the most straightforward choice if you felt like there is nothing needed to be replaced. For me, these are the evolutions I choose. Okay, evolution choices done. Let's talk about both modes. After all the evolutions, base Soma had 30% crit chance, 3.6x CD, 10% status and 24 base damage, 1 multi-shot only. As for the Incarnon, 10% crit, 4x CD, 3% status per bullet and 30 base damage with 8 multi-shot. With some precise calculation, with this same exact build and the use of arcane acceleration, you did expect base form to pull ahead, but no, it actually fell far behind in terms of damage, despite consistent red crits everywhere. With the additional use of puncture procs, the distance is even greater due to the fact that lower base crit weapons just benefit more than high base crit weapons. But still, how about the terrible status chance on both modes? Surely Incarnon form will be significantly weaker in status applying speed, right? No. This formula can be used to calculate the average status amount that the weapon can apply each second. Normally, status procs from shotgun-esque weapon tend to hit softer, but this time it had higher base damage, albeit lower total crit damage, which kinda makes them equal. You still remember that I say you can replace Galvanized Aptitude? This is due to the fact that it had little status chance to benefit from it, making this mod quite replaceable in your build as there's a perk that allows similar benefits as well. Speaking about that, with this little status chance, you did assume that it must be a raw damage build, which is quite the common assumption unless there's a secret mod we are going to make use later, but for now, that's probably all the nuances within the builds. Hada Satya is needed and Piercing Roar to source puncture procs, which is another source of crit chance. For a survival centric build, the only plausible status is possibly Blast, as you can still somewhat make use of it as long as there's a proc or two when an enemy is killed. Honestly, it's just what you'd expect. I have replaced Quick Delay with other mods and offload the task to Arcane Avenger, which does the job better but requires maintenance. Other than that, I have nothing much to say. With many buffs given, it strikes like you'd imagine it to be. Not that interesting to watch or play, but you could whip it out occasionally to cleanse your palate. And there's another build. If you are talking about shotgun-esque weapon, no way we are not going to talk about Hunter Munitions. Normally, Hunter Munitions is quite mediocre. I know, some players are raising their forks now, but hear me out. With full crit potential at the normal 3.3 multi-shot, HM only provides 0.99 average slash proc per shot and 0.3 for hell trigger weapons, which is incredibly little, and without someone like this guy right here, it's just not a good choice. Either it hits hard with inconsistency or tickling enemies but with great consistency. But with Soma Prime Incarnon, that's a whole different story. Its Incarnon form is capable of reaching 100% crit with little hassle and sporting an extremely high multi-shot count of 26.4, yet still having a base 7 fire rate. With all this accounted, its Incarnon form produces way more slash proc per second than what its base form can ever produce, yet hitting equally hard. Also, if it is a slash build, ain't no way I'm not using Expedite Suffering for this. Mandatory status duration mod for more final damage on Expedite Suffering, Hunter Munition, Hada Satya is key, and the rest is just the same thing. Death by 1,000 cuts, as they say. For how long they could withstand their suffering may come to a sudden end. Those screams drown within the soundless death, unheard, unknown. Honestly, people sleep on Soma Prime Incarnon. I know, it's not those, oh my god, bring off room delete button version 69. But it isn't as weak as you might expect it to be. You can expect a bit more level cap runs from me as I want to get them out from my drive as soon as possible. The second episode of Into the Design could potentially need more space than I originally expected. Okay, conclusion done. See you all next time. Goodbye.